Hi, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about some factors that could impact your home value. In this video, I'm going to talk about some factors that could impact your home value. So I'm going to touch on 3 points. This could be helpful for sellers and as well as buyers who are thinking about making a purchase on that home, and also for sellers who are thinking about possibly selling in the near future or even later down the line. Whenever you view this video, here's some tips and some things that you may want to think about regarding, how to make your house to get the most value at your home. So you probably heard location, and make sure your house looks great and positioning. And yes, those are really important where it comes to just what could impact your home value. So clearly, and even as a buyer, if you're out there shopping, clearly there's some things that you can change. Like even as a seller, you want to focus on things that you can change in your home. So the things that you do have control over is clearly the price of the property and the condition of your property. Those are the 2 things that you can really control over, the overall house, which is the product. How you present your home, and that's like condition, how you can, and what your trusted real estate agent or your professional can help you to try and market your home in the best light. And also, the price. Clearly you want to position your price that, can attract the most buyers to your home, so that they can be able, for one, see the property schedule. You want to as an agent, we measure, the house. We want to make sure that we're priced attractively enough to allow a buyer to want to come through and take the time to come and see your home, other than looking at it. And then we want them to come to the house so that so then you have an option, so you have the opportunity for that buyer to place an offer. So here's some factors. So I'm going to touch on 3 things, and clearly on three major categories. So clearly we know that we can't change the location. We can't change the location of the house. Wherever the house is where it's at. Unfortunately, we can't pick up that house and put it somewhere else. We can't change the location. We can't, some things that, we can't change our where we are. You can't change the fact that if you have, one things that you can do is that if you are possibly in a neighborhood, or in, what is around you does not necessarily, may not be appealing to others. You never know, because there's always people that may or can live there. So you can start with your neighbor's house. Your neighbor's house, they may, you can't control your neighbor, but all you can do is make sure that your house best shines. And even when it comes to, and some things that do impact is clearly close to power lines, like power plants or landfills or train tracks. Train tracks are a really big one. If your house sits where it's you have a railroad track behind you, that could affect your house value, because you are close to something that does tend to be maybe a nuisance, such as railroad tracks or a highway, and as to noise and whatnot, and pollution and whatnot. So you may just want to, but all you can do is really just highlight the positives of your house, but also be realistic as to what what other homes are being marketed at and being sold at that price. Because clearly, as appraisers and real estate agents, and also even consumers, determine a price to offer on a house depending on where its location is, they always tend to start with the comps in the area. What are other homes are selling in the area for that are somewhat in the same vicinity? And that's very important, and in the neighborhood. So you may not, so really not to touch on something like that, but sometimes that is a real life case. You do have houses that are extremely close to railroad tracks, and you also have houses that are extremely close to highways and freeways and other commercial areas. Sometimes it does impact the value, but really how to combat that is really how other houses are being marketed and how they're being sold in the area. And believe it or not, there are areas where it's like there are really demanding and desirable areas, but they do have railroad tracks running through them. But as a buyer, but it depends on what you may determine and what you may like for your house. Another term to really like, so that's something that we can't control. We cannot control where we are geographically, where your house is. We can't control the neighborhood. We can't control what is around it. We can't control what's going on. All we can do is worry about what we're doing with our house. So that's something that we can't change. But what can we change? Clearly, we can change the way how our house looks aesthetically, and also the condition of the house. So what you can do as a homeowner that's trying to market your house, you probably heard, like, okay, some people just want to have that HGTV ready house. Like, you have the neutral paint, you have the shiplap board throughout the house, a barnyard farm style home, stuff that makes it look good. You have the quartz or marble countertops. You have the nice kitchen and the stainless steel appliances. You have the bathroom that looks all nice. People always say that what really sells a home is the kitchens and baths. Yes, that is what people are always looking at, as well as the rooms in the basement and all that. However, you may want to consider as a seller to do stuff outside to the house. I've read an article not too long ago that says that, having that curb appeal really does attract people to come to your house. So have nice flowers, make sure the grass is cut, make sure that, and also things that you can do is to clean your driveway and sidewalks just to make sure that they're pristine and look very welcoming. Clean off the porch, because really where the shopping really happens at is really online. When people start looking at your homes, when people are swiping left and I'm swiping left on my hand, so I probably should do this. When people are swiping left, they are, quite frankly, looking for your home. They're shopping. They're shopping with their eyes. They're reading the description. They're looking through the pictures. And it's very important to have really good photography to attract people to your house. And you want to have really good photography to attract people to your house so that people can clearly want to come and see it. As a realtor, I do want people to come. I want to advertise your house in the best way. So the way how I can do it is basically by using photography. Having photography to help with your home, with the sale of your home, to help entice people to want to come to your house so that they can be able to, and it does entice them to at least reach out so that they can have the opportunity to see your home. And you want to present your home in the best light. So it's best to, of course, and also not only that, if people are not necessarily looking online and swiping left, they're also driving around. So if you have a sign in the yard and you're cleaning off and your house looks good, it makes it look and looks yummy to attract people in. You want people to at least want to, and you want that people to come in and have that eye candy. So that's something that we as realtors we use, not most realtors use, is to, and also as homeowners, is to have professional photography so your home looks good to come in. Clearly also another tip is to maybe clean off your roof. Clean off your roof. You may, or power wash the siding. Make sure the house shines. Just give your house a really good scrub and clean, just so that people can come by and see it, and that way it helps present your house in the best light. Is also, clearly you want to declutter. You want the house to at least show that it's spacious, roomy and spacious. Some things, and you may heard tips like, okay, use staging, use your own furniture to help stage the home, so that the buyer or whoever is coming in and can envision where to position the major pieces in their home. Like, where can we put the couch to watch TV? Where can we put put the bed to best showcase the room, and even the dresser and whatnot. So that stuff does come into play, is also staging, and also, painting. A good paint job is going to help get those buyers in, and to give that element of freshness. And just have some good landscaping. Clean off your driveways, clean off your sidewalks, clean off the path to the house, so people have a good experience coming into the house. Another thing that you can do is, and also when it comes to bathrooms and kitchens, make sure they're clean. Because sometimes, especially for a first-time home buyer, they want to make sure that, because I've been into places where who knows what's happened in that bathroom. So you just want to make sure that the house looks. The thing is a homeowner, if I was to come back, would I come back and buy this house again? And that's something that you may want to think about as the homeowner getting your house ready to sell. The last thing that I'm going to touch on is positioning. Positioning is very important, and what I mean by positioning is clearly price. Of course, price is a very touchy subject, and this is something that is very different and varies between market to market, area to area, and city to city, and house to house. So clearly, you want to talk to your real estate professional, hire a real estate professional to look at where you can possibly find where you can possibly market your house at. So one of the things that your realtor is going to do is take note of all the updates that you did to the house, and they're going to go find the comps to see what area, what has sold in the area, what clearly had went through the process and had sold, successfully closed, and then looked at what is selling, and that means it's under contract, they were on the market, they found a buyer, they're under contract with that buyer, and that buyer is going through the process and making their way to settlement. And then also what is active, that is your competition. Those are houses that have came on the market and have not yet found a buyer. So you want to make sure that you position yourself within those guidelines. What really makes the price of your home is what has sold. So your comparables is basically we're trying to best match your home with other homes in the area. We go sometimes depending on how dense, meaning more, if houses are closer together, or how wide we have to go. So if you have houses if you're in a subdivision with all single family homes, sometimes that agent may want to look within that particular area. If you're in a rural area, clearly you have more houses spread apart, so you expand your distance further out within at least 6 to no more than a year. It's the same way how an appraiser does it. The appraiser looks at like square footage, like bedrooms and baths, and what's the updates and and the condition of the house. And that's where you make adjustments. So earlier when I talked about location, your location can vary, so that if you're in an area where you do have, unfortunately, you may have that power plant right down the road that you walk out and you see, and that's an obstruction. It's not like you're looking across the road and you see a park, or you see a nice scenery or a nice skyline, because views come into play. You can either adjust up or adjust down to show if your house is in a better condition, depending on what is there. So if your So take for instance, like if we have a power plant down the road, and that when you walk out, you turn left, you see the power plant, you see everything around it. You have a nice house. Your house is updated, your house looks nice, you did all that, but then you're like, okay, well, I want my house to sell for the most. Clearly you want your house to sell for the most. So what is to do? So if you know that you have your neighbor that lives down the road that also has sold very recently, and they have your house is similar to that house, you may want to use that comp. Or even if that neighbor may not have the best condition, but they sold anyway, you can adjust up for your condition. So it depends. It really does depend on what is really going on in your local market. But clearly, these things do impact your value, believe it or not. And that's why some buyers, they really do think when they are looking at houses, what neighborhoods they want to be in, because you can't change your neighborhood. They're looking at the schools, they're looking at the what's in the area, such as like, is there a cemetery across the street, is there train tracks, are we close to public transportation, or right down the road we see an area where it's not very flattering to look at. That's what a buyer is going to look at, and to see what, if they want to. Believe it, but one thing that we know for sure is that buyers do come into the market and they do decide they want to buy, depending on which. Okay, so thank you so that's it. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to call me. My information is down below, and you can feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and also click the bell so that you know when I drop a new video. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing you in the comments, and also whatnot, give me a call. Thanks, and have a good one.